Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Naomi sent a heartfelt message today on social media after being attacked by Jade Cargill at WWE Elimination Chamber 2025. Cargill was the victim of a backstage attack by a mystery assailant on the November 22, 2024 episode of SmackDown and missed several months of action before her return at the premium live event this past Saturday night. The veteran played Ethel Johnson in the Queen of the Ring film, which will be released this week in the United States. She attended the premiere of the film sporting a neck brace and sent a heartfelt message to director Ash Avildsen, as seen in her post below. Naomi replaced Jade Cargill in the tag team with Bianca Belair following the attack last November. The duo lost the Women's Tag Team Championship to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez on the February 24 edition of WWE ROW. Bianca Belair won the Women's Elimination Chamber match and is set to challenge Io Shirai for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. The genius of the Shirai won the title by defeating Rhea Ripley in the main event of this past Monday's episode of the Red Brand. Wrestling legend Vince Russo recently took the company to task for not providing an update on Naomi's storyline during this past Monday's edition of WWE ROW. Speaking on this week's episode of Wrestling's Legion of Raw show, Russo noted that the company didn't have the former SmackDown Women's Champion speak with Bianca Belair during the show. The veteran felt that the company failed to capitalize on the storyline following Elimination Chamber. You can check out the video below. Bianca Belair was stunned to see Jade Cargill attack her tag team partner at WWE Elimination Chamber. It will be fascinating to see what the company has planned for the storyline on the road to WrestleMania 41 next month. The backstage area of the wrestling arena hummed with the noise of crew members and production staff, the clattering of equipment, and the occasional shout of a fellow wrestler preparing for their match. Naomi sat on the edge of a folding chair in her locker room, scrolling through her phone. The glow of the screen illuminated her face as she took in the wave of messages from fans and colleagues, most of them expressing shock, concern, and disbelief. It had been a difficult night for everyone, but none more so than Jade Cargill. Earlier that evening, during the biggest match of her career, Jade had been viciously attacked in the middle of the ring. The incident had stunned everyone in the arena, leaving the audience gasping for air as security scrambled to contain the situation. Naomi's heart had dropped when she saw Jade, who had been in the midst of a career-defining performance, crumple to the canvas after a brutal, unprovoked assault. No one saw it coming, and no one knew who was behind the attack. As the cameras had cut away from the action, Naomi's thoughts had immediately turned to her friend Jade. She had seen Jade grow from a powerhouse in the making into one of the most dominant figures in professional wrestling. But tonight, that journey had been interrupted by an unknown enemy. Naomi wasn't just a colleague to Jade. They had spent hours training together, laughing together, and supporting one another through the highs and lows of the wrestling world. Jade was more than a teammate. She was a sister in a world that often felt lonely. Naomi knew that the attack would have shattered Jade's confidence, no matter how tough she was on the outside. Jade's resilience was unmatched, but Naomi could sense that something like this would sting deeply. She took a deep breath, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. What could she say? How could she find the right words to comfort her friend when the world seemed to be unraveling for her? After a long pause, Naomi began to type. Naomi's message: Jade, I know you're probably sitting in that locker room right now, replaying tonight's events over and over in your head. Trust me, I get it. We all saw what happened, and we're all still in shock. But let me remind you of something important. You are not defined by what happened tonight. You are not defined by the actions of someone who can't stand to see your success. They wanted to break you, but all they did was remind us of all of your strength, your power, and your ability to rise above anything that gets thrown your way. I've watched you transform from someone with potential to a true force in this business. You've been through so much to get to where you are, and I have no doubt that this will only make you stronger. People who attack others out of jealousy or insecurity never last. It's the ones who keep pushing forward, who keep their heads held high in the face of adversity, who leave their mark on this world. And you, Jade, are one of those people. So don't you dare let this setback stop you. Don't let it make you question yourself, your journey, or your worth. I believe in you more than words can say. You've got this. And when you're ready to come back stronger than ever, I'll be right there by your side, cheering you on as always. Take the time you need to process and heal. But know this, you are loved, you are supported, and you are unstoppable. We're all with you, Jade. I'm with you. Always. With all my heart. Naomi exhaled deeply after sending the message, feeling a weight lift off her chest. It felt right, but there was still a part of her that wished she could do more. She had been in the industry long enough to know that sometimes words weren't enough. But they were all she could offer at this moment. She thought back to the moment of the attack. Jade had been about to deliver her finishing move when the lights flickered. A figure had emerged from the shadows, a masked assailant who had blindsided Jade with a steel chair. The crowd's shocked gasps had echoed in Naomi's ears as she stood at ringside, unable to do anything but watch. The look of betrayal on Jade's face as she crumpled to the mat would haunt Naomi for days to come. There was something personal about the attack, something that made Naomi wonder whether this was just about professional competition. Who would want to hurt Jade like this, and why? These questions lingered in Naomi's mind, but she knew the answers could take time. What mattered now was being there for her friend, no matter the circumstances. Her phone buzzed, breaking her from her thoughts. She glanced at the screen to see a message from another member of the roster, Bailey. "Hey, did you see what happened? We need to talk about what's going on. This is bigger than we thought." Naomi's heart sank. Bailey was right. This wasn't just a random attack. Someone had intentionally gone after Jade, and Naomi needed to find out who. She quickly responded to Bailey. "I'm with you. I'll meet you in a bit. Let's figure this out." Her mind raced as she stood up from the chair, pacing around the small room. Whoever was behind this wasn't just trying to send a message to Jade. They were trying to send a message to everyone in the locker room. Someone was trying to instill fear, and Naomi couldn't allow that to happen. She had been in this business long enough to know that fear was the one thing no one could show. If Jade could rise above this attack, if she could use this moment to her advantage, she could turn the tables on whoever was trying to take her down. Naomi believed in her, and she wasn't the only one. The entire locker room stood behind Jade, and Naomi knew that, together, they could find out who was responsible and make sure they faced the consequences. As she made her way down the hallway, she felt a sense of determination building within her. This was no longer just about friendship. This was about protecting each other, standing united as a team, and ensuring that the locker room remained a place of respect, not fear. Naomi joined Bailey in a quiet corner of the arena, where they began discussing their next steps. "This is getting out of hand," Bailey said, her voice low but fierce. "If someone's targeting Jade, they're targeting all of us. We need to get ahead of this before it escalates." Naomi nodded. "I agree. Whoever did this needs to understand that they can't just go around attacking people without facing the consequences." They shared a look of understanding. It wasn't just about defending Jade. It was about sending a message. They weren't going to let anyone tear down the spirit of the women's locker room. Back in her locker room, Jade sat quietly, her phone resting on her lap as she read the countless messages of support. Naomi's message stood out the most. She could feel the sincerity behind each word, and for the first time since the attack, a small smile tugged at the corners of her lips. Jade wasn't alone. She wasn't going to let one person, one attack, define her. She had come too far to let anything or anyone stop her. With renewed determination, she stood up and grabbed her gear bag, ready to move forward. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, but with Naomi and the rest of her colleagues standing beside her, she was more than ready for whatever came next. As Naomi walked back to her locker room later that evening, she felt a sense of pride. She had done what she could for Jade, and now it was time to take the fight to whoever was responsible. The strength of the locker room was stronger than any attack. Jade would rise above this, and together, they would face whatever came next, united, unstoppable, and stronger than ever before. The end. This narrative builds on the bond of friendship between Naomi and Jade, exploring the emotional impact of the attack and how Naomi offers support. It also sets the stage for further developments and mysteries in the wrestling world, highlighting the strength of solidarity and the will to overcome adversity. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.